Imagine a parent who carries the weight of the world on their shoulders, not just for themselves, but for their children, right? Now, now picture a single father. He's working two jobs, doing overtime, doing all the 9 yards. He's going in, doing everything he can to make ends meet. But when payday comes, he's still faced with the impossible choice. Does he pay the rent? Does he pay to keep the lights on? Or does he buy groceries? What would you do in that situation? Right? So he hides his stress behind a brave face because that's what men are told that they're meant to behave, right? And now he's sitting down with the kids, pretending he's not hungry so they can have just a little bit more. So he's having a self sacrifice because he's the parent, right? But that's why I'm climbing 1,031 steps at the Felix step climb. Because for the parents who have to carry it all, and for the children who deserve more than empty plates. Are you ready for it? This will surprise you. Okay, are you ready? All right. So 90,000 tons of bananas are wasted annually. Why, you may ask? It's a valid question. Imperfections. I know. We toss out bananas because maybe they're too ripe, too many spots, not pretty enough. I mean, come on. Meanwhile, families are going hungry. They're starving. Let's change the narrative, people. Support the Felix Project and help make sure no good food goes to waste. Please go to justgiving.com/fundraising/party and let's do it together. Thank you. Take care. There's something different about running at night. The area feels quieter, almost peaceful. Yet I can hear slight noise, but for the most part, I can hear my own breath, my feet hitting the pavement, and the thoughts in my head. But tonight, those thoughts are focused on the climb ahead. Because you see, it's not just about running for running's sake, right? It's about preparing for something bigger. The Felix Step Climb isn't just a personal challenge, it was my chance to make a real difference, where every step was about getting closer to that moment. Especially me, given my background, I'm not somebody that runs regularly, right? Cardio isn't really my thing, but I thought this would be a beautiful opportunity to do something positive, something uplifting. And here's the thing, We all know what it's like to feel tired or to doubt yourself. But when you've got something bigger than yourself to train for, it gives you that extra push. And that's exactly why I'm out here tonight. Right? This is on a cruise, a holiday essentially. But yeah, I'm training for something that matters for people who really need it. Like genuinely need it. Right? And it's easy to forget, but with every single step, I'm contributing to the Felix project who are trying to raise funds for, well, people in need of food desperately, those that are vulnerable, because they help with food waste, with repurposing the waste. What we choose to wear is a way of expressing ourselves. Each piece tells a story about who we are, what we value, and the choices that we make. But clothing isn't the only way we express ourselves, right? Of course. The relationship we have with food is just as powerful. It's a way of showing self compassion, of nurturing our bodies, and honoring our needs. But how can you nurture your relationship with food when you don't even have access to it? Because for so many people, food insecurity isn't just about hunger, it's about the emotional toil it takes. Imagine the stress of not knowing if you can provide your next meal, the heartbreak of seeing your children go hungry, or the constant worry that strips away your sense of stability and self worth. That's what organizations like the Felix Project are so vital. They take surplus food and transform it for families, or not even just families, ordinary people, so single or whatever, right? And they ensure that no good food goes to waste and no family is left without hope. Just came back from the airport. Little quick switcheroo. We at it. You still see my Hawaiian shirt underneath.
But you have to go down on your belly. Go, you have to go down on your belly. Yeah, like that. There you go.
Let's do it forward. Jet lag? Who cares? No one sleep? Yep. Just quickly went home, changed my shoes, put
put on the beanie hat. And now here we are. I've even got my shorts underneath my trousers right now. That's where's money for food waste. There's nothing compared to the suffering that so many are going through. Nothing compared to not having basic necessities. I haven't even opened my suitcase yet. Which are in a way, ironically, what I consider my necessities to take on holiday.
to go and do the day that I don't want to do.
Imagine. Imagine throwing away 700 pounds every year. 700 pounds! Can you imagine? For many of us, that's unthinkable. Certainly myself. But that's exactly what UK households lose to food waste annually. Not once in a blue moon, annually. Can you imagine? Meanwhile, millions of families are struggling. They can't even afford basic groceries, mangoes, strawberries, apples, bananas, blueberries, staples in most kitchens. Suddenly the ones I've been to, right? It doesn't have to be this way. The Felix project is turning waste into nourishment one step at a time. Okay? Please help with the mission. Please go to justgiving.com/fundraising/party-lime, and together we can make an impact and a difference one step at a time. And with that, I wish you a beautiful day. Take care. Salute. See ya. And thank you. So, story time. Okay, so when I was younger, food wasn't something I really enjoyed. It was more, I want to say, it felt like a chore, really. Something I had to get through, something I had to do, but not something I wanted to do. And my mother would go to great lengths to make sure I ate, pleading, bargaining, even insisting, but I still found ways to avoid it. I'd hide food away in secret, and it's embarrassing to say now, but this was genuinely me, right? And I guess you could say I was indifferent to her efforts and completely unaware of how much food meant, right? I just I just didn't understand. At the time I didn't think twice about it. I was just completely ignorant of how grateful I should have been that food was available, because that's not everybody's reality. Okay? But now that I've grown a bit, now that I'm out of my bubble and I've taken time to reflect on some introspection, I see that that indifference for what it truly was privilege. Privilege is invisible to those that have it. Yeah. And it's probably the same kind of attitude that leads to so many others to waste food without a second thought, really. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to think how my actions back then contributed to the cycle of waste. But I've learned that food isn't just fuel, it's dignity, it's hope for so many people. And it's and I've learned, especially for myself, that it's the foundation for thriving. Certainly. And while I can't change my past, I can channel those lessons into making a difference now. That's why I'm so passionate about this step climb and raising funds to contribute to the Felix Step Climb Challenge. You can support by going to justgiving.com/fundraising/partylime. Whoa. Food doesn't belong in landfills. It belongs on tables, nourishing families and creating hope. And you see, this butterfly pin is made from repurposed cotton tie. Something that would have been discarded but has now been transformed into something absolutely beautiful. It's a small but powerful reminder that waste doesn't have to be the end of the story. Why am I saying this? Because the Felix Project does the same for food. Rescuing surplus food that would otherwise go to waste, but now it's turning into full plates for those truly in need. Together, we can end this cycle for good. Let's create beauty and hope from what might otherwise be forgotten. Donate today and help make transformation possible. Please go to justgiving.com/fundraising/partylime. Thank you. I appreciate it. Every time food waste is recycled, it's given a second chance to grow, to nurture, to give back. And don't get me wrong, composting is a beautiful thing, right? But what if instead of composting it, we could feed people first? Funny, right? That's exactly what the Felix Project does. It rescues surplus food, provides for those that need it the most. So please support the Felix Challenge and support me, because I'm supporting the Felix Challenge too. Wait. Does that make sense? Imagine you're a single mother, right? She spends her days juggling school runs, work shifts, late night budgeting. She's stretched so thin, right? That even buying mangoes feels like a luxury. She goes to bed more hungry than not. But she tells herself that it's worth it as long as her kids don't feel the same way. These parents share one thing in common. They're doing everything they can, but it's still not enough because food security, or rather food insecurity, isn't a reflection of their effort. It's a failure of the system that leaves families struggling to survive. You see, food waste isn't just a problem for our plates, it's also hurting our planet. Wasting food creates as much CO2 in 10 million cars on the road. And I don't mean one of those Hot Wheels collectibles, I mean cars. Cars. And, well, the good thing is that there is hope. And that hope, one example, is by supporting the Felix project. They rescue food, they restore dignity, and they reduce harmful emissions by redistributing food which would have otherwise gone to waste. Okay? So together we can fight hunger, improve the planet, and let's make a difference. And please support me by going to justgiving.com/fundraising/partylime. And let's do this together. I appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great day. Were you aware that 9.5 million tons of food is wasted
in the UK every year. That's enough to fill Wembley Stadium not once, not twice, but 90 times. Football's coming home. No, it's coming to the landfill. While millions of families face food insecurity, there's mountains of perfectly good food which ends up in the trash. By donating to the Felix project, you're helping rescue this food, right? And provide meals for those in need. Let's turn waste into hope. In my bio, there's a link, justgiving.com/fundraising/partylime. Please go there to support, because we are helping to raise for 825,000 meals as a collective contributing to that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good day.
You can't have the bow.
Even touch.
Platform 3 for the 16:33 Southeastern service to Paddockwood. Calling at Cuxton. Falling.
Flowers remind us of life's fleeting beauty, but what if a flower could last forever? You see, these wooden flowers hold a special meaning for me. Unlike flesh flowers, these actually endure, standing as a symbol of resilience and a lasting impact. They remind me that while moments may pass, the things we do to help others can leave a lasting impression. That's what supporting the Felix Project is all about. Every donation you make helps provide food for those who need it most. But it's more than just a meal, really. It's hope, it's dignity, it's the foundation for someone to rebuild and thrive. Just like these wooden flowers, your acts of kindness can endure, touching lives far, far beyond today. Now, a single flower may seem small, and a wooden one at that, but together they create a timeless beauty, just as every donation adds up to create lasting, impactful, beautiful change. By donating today, you're planting seeds of hope for tomorrow, a better future, one meal, one life at a time. Raising money for the Felix Step Challenge definitely had its challenges, especially when it came to using social media to get the word out. And the most noticeable one was that I didn't have a following. I still don't have a following now, right? So I have 0 followers, right? And I made several posts to share my Just Giving page, but they didn't really reach a lot of people, right? And here's the thing about social media algorithms, they tend to promote bigger accounts and even negativity, right? Which makes it tough for someone like me to get noticed. Even so, I tried my absolute best with the reels, my long form YouTube videos, and I'm gonna be honest here, it's easy to feel like you're going through it alone when you see like the no views under the YouTube video, or especially when I put my heart into it. Like I put like passion into this, right?
or even just like researching things about food waste so that I can make my Instagram captions more engaging, right? And more, or rather, more accurate, right? And when you don't see a response, it's kind of like, I wanted to know if the information was helpful or not. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to raise awareness of the cause. But it is what it is, right? And it's just, what kept me going is that this is something I'm deeply, this is something that I'm, this is something that I'm deeply passionate about. Like, deeply passionate about. So, and the main thing was that I expressed it in a way which felt meaningful and authentic to me. And that for me is the main thing. Absolutely. And that's why it would be an experience that I would absolutely do again. For sure. Without a shadow of a doubt. Even if it meant the same level of no interaction, because you know what? I learned something about myself by doing this. I learned something about myself when I was vulnerable on camera, and that is that compassion for others is truly a remarkably beautiful thing. So, yes. And it felt so heartwarming to know that I was contributing to a cause far bigger than myself. And given the challenges in raising funds for, the Felix Step Climb and the Just Giving page and the social media and campaigning, yeah. So I decided to redirect the money I would have gotten for my birthday, which is in January, or Christmas, or even what I would have spent for myself for either of those things. And I used that money and I put that towards to my Just Giving page. So I put it all towards the campaign there.